Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the HalfTorqued Podcast. Today we are back. It's been a minute.
It has been a minute.
We've been very busy.
It's been a lot going on.
A lot going on, yeah.
All
good things, I suppose.
But we're not going to talk about that yet.
No. Okay, sorry. What are we going to talk about first?
We're going to talk about the ZR1 first because I've never been more prepared for a podcast than. All right, so my notes aren't that detailed, but
okay. I can't wait to hear that.
I've just been looking forward to it because the ZR1. Now, bear with me because these notes are not in any kind of order that I was going to try and talk about them. The first thing I want to say that I think it is time that the Corvette becomes that car that is the keep my name out your mouth kind of car.
Okay.
Because a lot of people
Can you elaborate on what that means? Keep my name out your mouth car?
Do you want to put Will Smith up here?
Keep my wife's name out your mouth?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people will say the Z06 or even like the last ZR1, it's a really expensive car. You know, it's what people selling for like $150,000 to $200,000 right now.
Yeah, definitely.
For the C7. Okay, and we're going to get into a little bit more comparison there in a minute. But the ZR1, the Corvette, the Z06 and the ZR1 especially, you can't say, oh, well, it's just a Corvette. You can't say that anymore. I'm sorry. Like, every aspect of this car is leveled up. It is up. It is a supercar.
We're touching Hypercar.
ZR1 is a supercar. I don't care what anybody else thinks. It has the quality interior. The exterior is exotic enough looking to me.
I agree.
Especially when you add the full carbon fiber. But let's talk about this top speed. 233 miles an hour. And it's not that this was a one and done. It was actually 5 different people from GM that drove the car with a passenger. They all did over 230 miles an hour in this car.
I didn't realize it was with a passenger.
Yeah. They had a technician with them.
So technically it could hit higher.
Probably.
Even if it's just 2 or 3 more.
Yeah. And this is the Z06 as run was on PS4 tires, no special tires. Every option that was on that car is how you can buy it. And it wasn't even like carbon fiber wheels. It had aluminum wheels on it. It did have some carbon fiber side skirts. The spoiler on the back, I believe, was the factory one, like the regular one or whatever. But yeah, 1,600 pounds of downforce, I think it was. I didn't write that down, but I think it's 1,600 pounds of downforce on that car.
Wow.
So the scoop and the hood on the front, the frunk, I guess, is functional. The air passes through the heat exchanger and out the top. So it's adding more downforce.
Yeah.
This is a supercar.
That's not up for debate at all.
I think there's going to be people that try to debate that.
Well, that's stupid.
It is stupid, and people need to get past the fact that. Now that I think about it, does a Corvette even have a Chevy logo on the outside of the car?
So I was actually just talking about that. I was telling someone asked me if I was going to buy the new ZR1. First of all, I was like, you think I can afford that? Yeah. My second thing was like, if I'm spending $250,000, $280,000 on a car, it's not going to be a Chevy.
I'm sorry, but
I know. I do not think that there is a Chevy logo anywhere on the outside of the car. At least.
I don't think there is. Steering wheel,
unless it's like there are BMW logos on the Supra with like they're like the engraved logos and like the suspension.
Okay, yeah, I get that.
So I'm sure that's somewhere.
But there's not like a badge on the car that is a Chevy. No. And I don't think any of the C8s at all have that.
No, I don't think so. No. I don't think most of the C7s or anything like that.
No, it's probably been a while. I'm interested in that now. But I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not done.
I've got my clap back here, and you're not going to be excited about it. But
I'm not worried about it. Like, I cannot be...
No Chevy logo? No Chevy logo on the ZR1? I
cannot be deterred on the supreme being of the ZR1.
Well, I'm not knocking it at all. Keep going.
Okay.
We'll get into it.
I think we've already kind of talked about this before. And this isn't about Nürburgring times because we talked about that before. We weren't going to talk about that until it's released. And I know that Ford is now teasing.
Yep.
I don't know why they're teasing. Just let us know.
I think they're waiting for the Z06 to drop.
They got a bigger fish to worry about. The Z06 is not on that level.
No, I think if it can't compare with the ZR1, I think they've lost.
if it can't compare with the ZR1, which I think it will, and I'm not a Mustang guy, but I think they're going to be really, really close.
Yeah.
I expect the GTD to be faster.
Right. I hope it
better be for the price.
Absolutely.
But
they look so good. Sorry.
If the Zora comes out, I've seen it in person. I'm not super wild about it.
Yeah.
I like aspects of the thing, but if the Zora comes out, all-wheel drive with the ZR1, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
that you're talking hypercar then, like the possibility of hypercar. I'm not saying that this is going to be a hypercar, but one thing I want to point out is, I mentioned the C7 ZR1 and how awesome that car is, and it holds its value, and everybody loves that car, and it is sick.
Mm-hmm.
This car is 21 miles per hour faster in top speed.
Mm-hmm.
21 miles per hour. GM predicted it to do over 215. They went a lot higher than that. They didn't expect that.
Right. That was the coolest part to me, was like,
love it.
They were like, oh, wow, we really made a car here.
Yeah, look at us.
Yeah. It is the fastest production car under $1 million.
It's the highest horsepower car to ever come out from America.
Really?
And let's not forget.
Is it higher than the Venom F5? The Hennessy car?
That's like a boutique firm. That's not a production car.
Oh, okay, right. Production car. Got it.
But to that point, the Demon, was it 170?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember how much. I know it was over 1,000. Was it 1,024?
I thought it was 1,070.
No, it's not. It's less than the ZR1.
Well, the ZR1's
1064.
Oh, dude, I was thinking of the W1.
Oh, okay. We'll get to that later.
Yeah, I want to talk about that too. Demon 170 horsepower. I think that's very important right now. 1,025.
Okay, so I was close. And also, is that on pump gas?
No, I think that's on E85.
The ZR1 is making it the 1064 on pump gas. So just to kind of put that in perspective of people that aren't familiar with corn, the Koenigsegg, I can't remember which car it was, the Jesko maybe, it made a little over 1,000 horsepower. No, it was like 1,200 something horsepower on pump gas. When they put E85 in, it jumped up to over 1,400 horsepower.
Yeah.
Wait till a tuner gets a hold of this ZR1, man. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, this car, it has the largest turbos ever fitted to any production car, period.
And there's two of them.
There's two of them. They are...
And apparently there's no spool time. Like, there's no lag.
Yeah, so it has electronic controlled wastegates to keep the lag away. So this thing is running 76 millimeter compressor wheels with, excuse me, Enzo, I can't remember this part. 67 millimeter turbine. Now, so that's a 7667 turbo.
Mm-hmm.
Your Supra, please put a picture of your turbo. And this isn't to knock your turbo by any means.
No offense taken here, man.
Your turbo's huge, and it's a 6466. So just trying to compare the size of your one turbo to both of these things strapped.
On a production car, and mine's aftermarket big turbo.
Yeah. Yeah. And the fact that they put so there's a little embossment on the turbo housings, the compressor housings. They're rockets. Because the Gemini twins, the LT6 and the LT7 engines, they have the little rockets on them in the Z06. Mm. So this is a little nod to it, and they put it on the turbo, which that can also be a picture.
Okay.
But, dude, I am so excited about this thing. The Beast from Bowling Green, which is such a cool nickname. I'm so pumped.
Well, okay, it's hard to say, oh, I can't wait for the Zora without having to, like, take away from the ZR1.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's thinking, can't wait for the Zora. Because if this is, like, blown expectations out of the water. And my thing about that, too, was, like, if they didn't think that they could hit this high of a top speed, are they, like, worried about the Zora underperforming now? Like, were they hoping to hit this with the Zora, and then they were like, oh, shoot, now we kind of raise our expectations a little?
The flip side of that could be they kind of know what the Zora's going to do.
Right.
Dude.
Here's the I don't think supercar is in discussion. Like, it's 100% a supercar. If you disagree with that, I don't think that you know anything about cars. It's mid-engined. It's exotic. An AMG GT Black Series is a supercar.
They're so pretty, too.
And
it's a grandpa car, apparently.
Don't even get me started. I think that if you take away, the Corvette's a Chevy, and everyone has one now, I think that the Corvette is prettier than the GT Black Series.
I think the ZR1's prettier than that new Ferrari F80.
We'll get to that too. But I think with the Zora, we're like into hypercar territory.
Has to be.
I don't know what the top speed of most hypercars is, except for like the Yesco's like 315. Wow. I know the Chiron and the Yesco are like fighting all the time over top speed. Who has it? But right now, I think it's like 317 or something like that, and I think Koenigsegg has it.
What would the W1 do?
Yeah, I can't wait for that too.
But is it made for a top speed run?
True. There's different things for sure, and I don't think the ZR1 is.
It's not. The ZR1 is your
handling car.
It's a Kentucky-built American V8,
right,
with 2 Wu-Tang war whistles hanging off of it, and just putting all these other American-made muscle cars. Shame.
Yeah, 100%.
Power-wise, yeah, it's putting everybody to shame. But I mean, no, I'm just gonna say it. It's still putting the 170 to shame. I know it's not a whole lot more power.
Here's my problem with the 170. They've done that run once. The quarter mile they did.
Yeah.
And it was under perfect conditions, and no one's ever going to hit it again.
Yep.
I've never seen someone hit that number again, and no one ever talked about the 170 after they did the crazy unveiling with the helicopter and all that stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was cool.
It was all show, one-time go, and now the ZR1 has done it 5 times on a track.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't they haven't released anything quarter mile, but it'd be in the 9s at least.
For sure, yeah.
Its problem is just going to be traction.
Right.
Not that the 170 isn't, but doesn't it come with a drag pack and shit like that? Like the ZR1 doesn't.
Parachute and everything like that.
Yeah, the ZR1's like,
deal with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the one thing that Dodge has on all the other cars is like their heritage. I love the way that they've kept the Challenger looking the same. Like if you look at an old Challenger and you look at a new Challenger, they're like similar, which I think is really, really cool.
No, I love that kind of stuff, yeah.
But other than that, dude.
Like when the new Camaro came out with this, like the current style that it has,
Mm-hmm.
I was really digging it.
Yeah.
Even with the Mustang, I was digging the fact that they went kind of retro and stuff.
Yeah.
Plymouth brought out that Prowler back in the day. Cool car, sucks to drive and no power. But
I'd love to have a Prowler at some point, though. They're so cool.
With a better motor.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Ford Model A that has the turbocharged S2000 motor in it?
No.
It's like 400 and something horsepower.
That's crazy.
It's pretty wicked.
Like Model A, like the original,
it's slammed.
Yeah.
It's got a rear mounted radiator. So they've got custom like ducting on the side and top to direct air onto it.
That's crazy.
Dude, it's dope.
But no, listen, I think we're into hypercar territory with the ZR1. Now for my problem. And I hate to be this guy, but if I'm spending $250,000 on a car.
Allegedly.
Right. I mean, if it's not.
It's going to be close. I think it'll be around 200.
Well, even if it's not, dealers are going to make it 250.
Oh, yeah, which is stupid.
Agreed. But if you're talking, I mean, the Z07 packages with the Z06 are up in the 200s. So it's like.
So gorgeous. But you could get a nice Z06 right now for $125, I've been seeing.
Yeah.
Don't think I haven't thought about it.
Yeah. And then you got the LZ1s, the LZ2s, LZ3s. And the top trim of the ZR1 is going to be up in the 300, if I had to guess.
Imagine what the Zora will be.
Right.
But this is, so I get what you're saying, and I believe what you're saying. But I feel like the reason you feel that way is because at the end of the day, it's still Chevrolet.
And it's not necessarily that as much as like, dude, I see 10 Corvettes a day.
Yeah, but you can see the difference in these.
Can a non-car person, though?
I think so.
I don't know about that, dude.
If you're rolling up, you've got the decked out ZR1 with that big-ass scoop in the hood, and you've got the carbon fiber wheels and all that stuff, and you don't see it, you don't matter.
See, that's where we disagree, because sure, you're not buying a car for prestige.
I'm definitely not.
But, man, if you're spending $250,000 on a car, you want it to have some.
Only dudes like my car.
Yeah, I definitely never expected to pull girls with it.
I mean,
they literally could not care less. Well, Peanut does.
You're 14 years old, Kit. My daughter says I do. But, yeah, I get it. But you still like Corvettes. Every time we see a Corvette, like there was a guy with us. I sent you the picture of that C8 that was with us.
Mm-hmm.
a badass car. She loves it. And I'm like, should I get one? She's like, no.
Right.
Make up your mind, woman. Woman, you're a long way from getting a Corvette. You're 14.
You're a long way from having a freaking car.
Ew, she's got a Mini.
No, true. But she can't legally drive yet. Okay.
No.
My thing is, like, I know that, like, cars aren't about prestige. And
Some people, they really are. But
right. And, like, if I'm buying my McLaren, I want there to have prestige to it.
But if nobody cares about your McLaren, are you still going to buy a McLaren?
Yes.
Exactly.
But I know people will.
Yeah.
And
well, most people are going to be like, what is that?
yeah, but that's cool. Like, that's cool.
I get that with my GTR.
Right. But then you're like, oh, what's that? ZR1. And
it's a McLaren.
But
yeah, that's what people.
But if they're like, oh, that's a Corvette. Oh, yeah, my uncle has one.
The Corvette.
So it's like, I just don't. What I really hope they do, they're not going to, is the Zora is going to look like a crazy Robot Craftsman body kit or something. And
poor Curran.
I just think it just doesn't matter. Like,
please move your butthole, cat.
It doesn't.
Hello?
You can't pay that much for a car and it be the same as a $60,000 car that you can buy off the showroom.
But it's not. Like, you're basing it on nothing but looks.
I know, but that's important.
It's not.
It is because
you.
But you can't. I mean, if a $1.3 million car dropped tomorrow and it looked like my 5, it'd be like, really? Paying $1.3 million for a car and it looks like this one?
So if they release this car right now
mm-hmm.
to a car guy and say it's an Alpine
mm-hmm.
and it makes 1,500 horsepower, but it still looks like this,
mm-hmm.
car guys are going to be like, that's fucking, that's really cool.
The difference is, because they've done that, they have the 530 and they have the M5 CS.
And those are so cool.
But you've got $60,000 to $130.
Yeah.
Versus $60,000 to $350.
No, I get it. I get the argument that you're making. Well, it's not even an argument. It's just an opinion. But
I just, like, there's no shot I buy a ZR1 over a 720S convertible.
I would.
I don't get it, man.
I want the performance. I'm more interested in the performance than I am what the person on the street thinks about it.
And as someone who doesn't do track days, I don't need that performance for the street.
I don't do track days, but it's fun on the mountain. You know, not 1,000 horsepower, but
at the same time, the 720S and the ZR1.
Can you imagine how that thing's going to sound? Flat plane.
I
crank
get it, dude.
With those two giant turbos on it.
The ZR1 is something that I would own if I had the money to own both. But
awesome.
I just don't think I could justify spending $300,000 on a Corvette.
That's fine.
When there's one that was made.
The ZR1's never going to be $300,000. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, the Zora at this point, too.
Zora is going to, I mean, what if it does come out and it has this wicked body line? And
if it does, I'm down. But, man, like, I know that there are things that are different, but even a Stingray versus a Z06, there are some times, it's kind of like a GT versus a GT500 or a V6 versus a GT500. Whenever I see a Z06, I'm like, okay, that's a Z06. When I see a C8, I'm like, is that a Z06? But, like, if you know it's a Z06, you know it's a Z06.
I can tell because the front's different, the sides are different, the back is different.
Right, and I agree.
I always look at the boomerang now, like from a distance.
Yeah.
I look to see if it has that line.
Right.
If it doesn't, I'm like, meh.
Right. And that's the thing, like, if I have to look at it and be like, oh, never mind. I should have to look at it and be like, dang, that's exactly what that is. And that's my fear with the ZR1. Like, spending $250,000 on a car, $200,000 less, and you can have almost the exact same looking car with less performance.
Way less.
Way less.
Way less.
Like, an insurmountable amount of less.
And that's where we differ. I am much more interested in the Go.
I agree, but that's a great segue, actually. Let's segue into Slammed Enough, because this was an epiphany I had at Slammed Enough.
Oh, boy. His first shart.
What does that mean?
You don't know what a shart is?
No.
You don't know what a shart is?
I have no idea what a shart is. I know what a shart is, but I don't know what I'm assuming that's not what you're referencing.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Oh,
is there a different kind of shart?
That's what I thought. I mean,
No, you farted, as my dad would say, with a lump in it.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't.
Yeah, that has to make it in, too, because my dad watches these.
Well, I know what a shart is. I just didn't know.
Okay. I was just kidding.
Oh, okay.
Did you shart?
No. No, I did not shart.
He sharted.
Okay, so with Slammed, I went to Slammed, and I was kind of told that the show was like not. I love when that happens.
Why is it always mine? We need to be sponsored by Blue Chew.
Oh, dude. Okay, I was kind of told that it was going to be kind of a crappy show. Now, the vibe, the aura, like going to Slammed and seeing like the cars around you and all that stuff is so much fun. But I kind of heard that like in the show, they just kind of let whatever they want in.
I did hear they cracked down on that.
I thought so.
Like somebody was telling me that when you were there, like if your car was going to be in the show, you're waiting for it to fall.
No, yes, yeah.
Mine's going to have tape on it soon. No, like I heard that like when you're there and your car's going to be in the show, that when you check in, they're making sure.
Yeah, they have like a catfish rule now.
Yep.
Which I think is awesome.
That is awesome. Every show should adopt that.
100%. And they were kicking out people who had video proof that they were driving recklessly in Gatlinburg.
My daughter just said put pretty pink tape on it.
Oh, wow. Well, that's so smart.
I mean, I will.
We don't have any pretty pink tape.
Not yet.
So anyways, I went to the show kind of expecting nothing. And if you think I'm going to say I like sand scars, you're very wrong. I still hate them. So chill. However, what I kind of learned was that it's okay to just have a car that looks really cool. And that's it.
What do you mean?
There were so many cars that...
You mean like a trailer queen?
Not necessarily, but like 70 horsepower cars.
Oh, no, that
looked incredible.
Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
But I never cared for that. Like, the reason I didn't want to buy a Supra over the M8 was because I'm losing half the power, if not more. But it looks cooler. And so that's why I bought the one that I bought. But, like, I just never wanted to buy a car that was slow that looked good, because I would just own a GR86 and do a bunch of stuff to it.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. The car that looks like it's fast, but it's not.
0 to 60 at some point.
Yeah.
And the show kind of opened my eyes and was like, hey, some of these cars are so beyond slow, but they look so good.
It's not always about being fast, you know. It's kind of like the whole talk about the ZR1 and stuff. Like there's a lot of older cars that aren't fast,
right,
that you can make look great,
right? You
know, and just because every older car that's slow that I think about, I'm like, hey, let's K-swap it, make it fast. But you know,
well, there's always something to making a car fast.
Absolutely,
but
you don't have to do that. Like if you want to just have a car that you take to shows and you win shows with and then cruise,
right?
That's fine.
And that's kind of what I saw, because I was never open to that idea. And
I just don't like when you have that car that looks great,
right,
and then it looks like it has broken suspension components and you're riding on the very edge of your tire and you look goofy.
Right.
It's like people that do the stupid stanced cars, because remember, we don't respect all builds here.
No, we don't. Respect all people.
Yes. I think stance cars is as dumb as girls doing the duck face in pictures. Hey, that's one thing. She's doing it right now, and I hate it when girls do that.
I mean, I don't really care, I guess, but
now you will.
Probably now.
Now you're gonna be looking at it.
But yeah, I mean, like,
or you're gonna start doing it.
I do duck face all the time. So, anyways, the whole show was just hearing at every speed bump. However, there were some cars that just looked awesome.
There's always some good ones there.
And it was cool because there was a Camry there. The body kit was not good. However, he did it handmade, and I can appreciate it because it was awesome that he, like, made his own kit out of fiberglass.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not A grade at all. but it was like cool to like see the effort that people have put into their cars.
Absolutely.
There was a Camry that was like 50% carbon fiber.
Was it a TRD?
I don't know. It didn't have the TRD spoiler.
You don't know because
it doesn't matter at all.
So stupid.
But no, like the whole front bumper was, all the sides were. I think it had carbon doors. It had a carbon trunk. It had a carbon rear bumper. It was awesome. I was like, what the frick? I want a Camry. And there were these cars that I just never had any appreciation for. That it was like, dang, he took that and made it into that. And yeah, like they'd pop their engine and be like, oh wow, that's.
Speaking of cool cars, my buddy Treese is in Japan right now.
Lucky
dude. So today he was posting or sending me video or pictures from Daikoku, which is it's like a meetup spot just off the highway. It's almost like I don't know like a rest stop, kind of like you would see here.
Okay.
But it all stopped there. All these cool cars. There's a full Veris wide body GTR that was there. There's R34s everywhere, and so jealous. He went to his top secret store and he bought a steering wheel from him, and he wanted him to autograph it. But apparently that guy doesn't do it now unless it's, which I didn't know was really a thing.
Yeah.
But man, so jealous. Gotta go to Japan.
We will, man. I also saw my dream RX-7 build. I couldn't find any pictures of it. Oh, really?
Yeah, I do.
Well, if I can find one, I'll put it up. But dude, it was me and you want very different RX-7 builds.
Yes.
And we hope to have like the twin RX-7 at some point.
Ish.
Yeah, we kind of want like the opposites, like inverted.
Not really. You just want the full-time attack,
crazy
scaffolding on the back and stuff. Like, I'm fine with vents. Shoot, especially for a rotary.
Yeah.
I just want one. Like I said, I'd be fine with something that is a 99 spec, which is basically how they looked.
Right.
In
99. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
But I do want like a wide body. I don't have anything like in mind.
Yeah.
TJ Hunt's RX-7, his white one. I hate his Velside one. I said it. I hate the Velside wide body.
Is that the one that I think looks like a Koenigsegg?
Maybe.
Like the Gamera kind of thing?
Maybe. I think it
fix that ugly back end, that's for sure.
It takes away what is the RX-7 to me. But anyway, like I think that TJ Hunt's he's got a white one that is just, it's as far as I would want to go visually with one.
Yeah.
But I would love to have one. It could be stock looking on the outside, but I want a big turbo 3 rotor in it, and that'd be sick.
We want a 4 rotor.
No. It's a lot of, I do. It's just a lot of money.
That's fine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Let's go for a rip in your Super right now if you're not worried about money.
That's all right. I'm good. That's all for looks. Another thing that slammed. I didn't win a thing. The first day I was feeling really good about it. There were some decent Supras there, but I was like, I think I've got the best one here. And the next morning we go there, groggy, because it's like 7 a.m. And then, boom, 19 wide body, big turbo, hood exit exhaust, all carbon fiber, roll cages, custom seats. And I was like, dang, all right, cool. Never mind.
Sounds like you got work to do.
I think that my Supra was like overall better, but there were just these little things that they did.
There's a lot of people that just want to focus on one part of it, and your Supra's kind of well-rounded.
Right. And the one that won, I'm pretty sure, was like a stock engine with this awful livery, by the way. It was like this Pandem.
Did it have like the big like finger thing?
Yeah, and it was like massive, and it was like Pandem, and it was like, oh, dude, it was just like the boring font, and like it wasn't a livery at all. It was just a bunch of stickers, and they were like, they just seemed like weirdly diagonal and like not.
It's way better than what won their show last year.
Ooh, he was there too.
Awful.
Yeah, sure. It's a show car because every part of it's touched.
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. It was ugly. Don't put butterfly doors on a Charger, please.
Don't put butterfly doors on anything.
Well.
No.
Well.
No.
Kind of want butterfly doors on the Supra.
Hell no.
See, here's the thing.
Nope.
Here's the thing.
Mm-mm.
Here's the thing.
Nope.
Here's the thing. If there was a better way to do it,
There's not, thank God.
Where it didn't have to like open all the way anyway and then go up.
Like garbage.
And then like slowly fall down and like they're built awfully.
It's terrible.
Because I was the one who was going to buy a C8 Corvette and throw butterfly doors on that thing.
There's a guy here that has, if he still has that car.
He does, yeah. He's the guy that turns on his car and puts it in a drive as soon as he, it kills me, dude.
You should never put butterfly, scissor doors, whatever you want to call them, Lambo doors. You shouldn't put that on anything.
Also, why do they call them Lambo doors? Like
Lamborghini started it, I think.
But like every single McLaren has one. But like Lambo,
it's a little different. They're all different.
Yes, but like every Lambo, there's like no Lambo that has doors that go to the side.
No.
Like basically,
the GT does, and the Artura, right?
No, the Artura has the dihedral ones, doesn't it?
I don't know.
But Lambos, like, there's not many Lambos that even go up anymore.
But it used to just be the scissor door, but each one's a little bit different. Koenigsegg has the coolest opening door, period.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. It's like so ridiculous, but it's awesome.
It is awesome.
And it's the family car, too, so it's like freaking massive, and it goes to both seats because it's a freaking 4-seater.
Oh, see, I wasn't even talking about that. I was just talking about the way their doors, as they go up, they go out.
I was talking about the one that like goes up and out, and then it like is straight up.
Are you talking so you can get into the back seat and all that stuff?
Yeah.
That's cool, but
that is super cool.
So everybody's got their own different styles of doors, but Lambo doors is what everybody called that.
Right.
Nonsense.
I want to see if the McLaren. You said Artura?
I think it just has regular doors. I'm pretty sure the GT did.
McLaren's Artura doors go up. And
I
the
really
GT?
like that little car.
GTs go up.
Do they really?
I think every McLaren does.
I hate the GT.
I'm not a fan, no.
Ugly.
Good segue.
McLaren. I'm a master at this.
So, okay.
7 episodes deep.
It started with the McLaren F1. Let me just go out here and say I don't really like it very much. We can move on from that, though, if you want to. Okay, he didn't hear it. Cool. It just doesn't look that great. I don't like the F1 that much. You like the F1 quite a bit? All right,
yeah,
cool.
I do. Is it the prettiest car? No, but neither are, the early Bugattis or even the Veyron.
Some Bugattis are ugly, dude.
Yeah, but the McLaren F1 is a legend.
I agree.
It will always be a legend, and it will always be cool that the driver sat in the middle. That's just so neat.
I didn't realize that was the thing.
Really?
No. I mean, I know the Speedtail does it, but I didn't realize that took from...
Yeah, so you sit in the middle, and your passengers are just offset behind you.
That's cool.
Yep.
Like a tractor.
Yeah.
And then it went to the P1, which is Matt's dream car.
At the moment, yeah.
I like the P1 a lot. So... I don't know if this is how people put it, but the McLarens have 2 different styles. They have, like, the S style, and they have the LT style.
Long tails.
So, like, the 570S and the 600 LT look the same. The P1 looks the same as those. They have, like, the different lights, right? So, then you have the Senna, the 720S, the 765 LT. So, they're not LT and S style because they're all different. But I don't love that style of headlight. Compared to the 720S. And I'll throw pictures up of both because I think it's important. However, I like them, obviously, because I would take a 570S. But my biggest problem with the P1 was the wing. Sorry. I just think when it goes up, it looks a little silly. Looks a little goofy.
Hey, it's...
You say you're going to fight me?
What'd you say, kid? Just like you.
Just like, oh, goofy? Got it.
The P1 was all about function. It didn't care if it looked good.
You're paying $3 million.
Nobody gives a shit at that point. You don't give a damn. That's when it comes down to prestige. I like it.
I like the P1. If I was offered a P1 tomorrow, I would probably faint.
The P1 LMGT or whatever that thing is. It has like the big giant wing on it like you like.
Can I look that up?
I think it might be called a P1 GTR, actually.
Funny how everything comes back to the GTR.
Grand Tour Racing. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Speaking of Grand Tour, and this is way off of what we're talking about right now.
Definitely.
Did you know that the GTI, that's considered a Grand Touring car? Or at least it was when it was made, because that's what it's Grand Touring injected.
Well, because isn't Grand Touring just like a...
When I think Grand Touring, I think of a bigger car with power.
I think of a hatchback.
It's wild. My car doesn't have a hatchback.
Yeah. I also, whenever I think of Grand Touring, I don't think of your car.
No, but that's literally what it's called.
Right. But like if you think of like an M3 Grand Touring.
The Ferrari F12, that's a Grand Touring car.
See, I think that's just like a floppy definition.
That is a beautiful car.
I don't know what it looks like.
I'm sure you won't like it either, but the first time I ever saw one in person was, I think they've been out almost a year. That's the first time I've ever looked at a car and been speechless until I saw the F40, F50, and the P1 all in the same room.
Dang. Was that when Josh was buying his Porsche?
Yeah, I just got reminded of it.
Beautiful. Yeah, when I think of a Grand Touring, I think of like a hatchback, like an M3 Touring or M5 Touring. Like it seems like the bigger version of a sports car.
See, I don't think of a hatchback. Yeah, it doesn't matter, though.
Yeah, I guess it's just a weird definition that's not completely defined.
I mean, this was way back in the day, too. I just watched a donut video where they were driving all the GTIs and stuff.
Yeah.
Cool little cars. I've always liked them.
Anyway.
They're fun.
P1
GTR, did you find a picture?
Yes, I did. I like it.
I figured you would.
I just think like when it's active and it goes up like that, it just looks a little goofy.
I think it's badass that it has to lower itself back down once you hit a certain speed, or else it's going to break the suspension.
That's cool.
That is amazing.
But when it's that like small on the car, it looks cool when it's like up a little. But when it goes that high and it's like that small,
yeah, I'm fine with it.
When it goes high, it has to.
You want to talk about a small wing that raises and goes down and all that stuff? The new Ford GT, it's got a small wing when it raises. It's not
but it doesn't raise very high.
It does when it's in race mode.
I don't know, Matt. I'm just talking about the McLarens, man.
You need to watch more Grand Tour.
I need to watch more
everything.
Yeah, I know. I agree. Okay. Anyway, the W1.
W1 picture because it's gorgeous.
Yes. So, as you all know, my most blind brand loyalty is McLaren
and Buick. Oddly enough, he didn't talk about him.
No, I don't. I don't talk about Buick at all.
He's huge into Buicks.
Those Enclaves. Dang.
That and your Chevy Lyric.
Oh yeah, dude. The Lyric is hard to beat.
He has a tattoo of the Lyric's logo on his back.
Yeah, it's on my butt actually.
I know.
Anyway, I don't care about Buicks actually, but
no, he doesn't.
McLaren's my favorite. I'm a BMW guy. When McLaren's in the discussion, I don't even know what BMW stands for. I actually don't know what BMW stands for.
I just can't pronounce it.
Something Motorworks?
Wiener Schnitzel something. I don't.
Brunschild. It's a Brunschild Motorworks. Sorry.
Let's
the wrong
not
accent.
Talk about Germans.
Yeah, let's not talk about the history of BMW at all.
Or Volkswagen, for that matter.
True. Let's just not talk about history. We shouldn't go there at all. Anyways, so I was excited for the W1 because, like, new dream car? ? However, the P1's not my dream car. It's the Senna.
That's fine.
That's
Senna,
another thing we want to have a twin of.
So it's like P1 and Senna's very close. Is there anything in between there for me?
Mm-mm.
I know not for you, but
although
yours is the other way around. But
right. Although I would Koenigsegg Jesko somewhere in there.
Yeah. That's high on the list too. Like we each need not right now, but we need to make a list of like top 10 cars.
Yeah,
something like that.
That would be smart.
That'd be cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
We should go through that and tell why.
That'd be cool.
Mustang GT, Mustang V6, Ford GT, Mustang GT.
And that's our time. So
so anyway, I think it's gorgeous.
Mm.
I will throw a picture up. I think it fixes the ugly wing.
Subjective.
As in, do you think it's better or worse, the wing?
Honestly, I haven't given that much thought about it.
Really?
Yeah, because I've never looked at the wing on the P1 and thought anything of it other than the fact that, man, that's damn cool that it goes up and down. Like, I've never looked at it as a beauty piece or whatever.
Yeah.
See, there is that difference between us still that I am, and it's not a bad thing. Don't take it as an insult or nothing like that. It's just there's still a lot. You're more interested in looks a lot of the time, and that's fine. But you do like the power and you like everything else along with it.
Yeah.
But you want the function to look good.
100%, yeah.
But I'm much more interested in function over form sometimes.
Which I understand.
Yeah, and I've just been around it so long. You know, I've done a little bit of everything. I had my racer stage. I don't feel you say you're a racer or whatever. I just don't feel like you are.
If I wasn't friends with all of you guys, I would be. I was the guy who wanted the swan neck on my 540i.
You did want to do. You did just mention a minute ago that you would do Lambo doors on the Supra if you wouldn't be murdered.
Yeah. Also, if they made them better.
Yeah, I wouldn't let you. I'd take them off. I would sneak in here while you're sleeping at noon and take them off.
That's a hard job to pull off in a couple hours.
I'd medicate you.
Yeah, I also plasti dip my wheels.
Back to my military day.
Don't
sneak into your room.
Change my struts. Also, my struts are giving out in the Supra. My trunk struts. Slowly but surely.
Well, I'd say so with it. Well, I mean, hell, it ain't even like it weighs that much, but
no, but yeah. Okay. Anyway, I just think it depends on the money that you're spending, because like there are cars that look bad that are fully functional that I understand.
So here's what I'll say about looking good and performing well.
Okay.
Okay. And this might sting a little bit.
That's fine.
The Senna's not a pretty car.
Really?
I do not think it's pretty. I don't think it's ugly, but I don't think it's pretty.
Wow.
But I love that car because of what it can do. And, you know, McLaren, even they'll be like, we didn't design this to look good. Like, we designed this for a purpose, period. I'm sorry.
I think that I think it's my favorite looking car in the world.
That's fine.
And that's my Ricer stage, I think, maybe. Because it is.
Don't ever say a Senna's Ricer. There's nothing Ricer about
yeah,
a
but
Senna.
you think
it's
about.
It's not even a Ricer stage.
I
think you just had bad LASIKs. That's all it is.
you talk about, like, full, like, time
Don't
attack.
get LASIKs in Mexico.
What is LASIKs? Like,
LASIK?
Like eye surgery?
The surgery you had.
You said LASIKs. It's called LASIK.
Yeah, LASIK is the pill that makes you pee. But, like, am I on that? No. LASIK.
I think that I don't think that the Senna is ricey, but I think that, like, it's, you know, like when you talk about time attack, that's the Senna.
Is it? Because I don't even look at it. I know what it's built for, and I know that it can be a time attack car. God, it would rule time attack, but like it's just.
Is it not more track oriented than the P1?
Absolutely. Yeah. Like that's why it's not like crazy high horsepower, none of that kind of stuff. Like everything is functional. Everything on that car is functional. Which, see, that kind of stuff, the functional stuff is like when Porsche designs their struts to be like a teardrop shape or shaped like an airplane wing or something like that. That stuff is awesome to me.
Yeah.
And that goes further for me than a flashy fender vent or something. You know what I mean? Like, not to say that I don't like fender vents, because I do.
Sure.
Like with the Nismo GTRs, I want some of those.
Right.
But when they do little things like that, that adds value to the car to me.
I completely agree, yeah.
I just think it's awesome. Like,
yeah.
Engineering, when they do cool stuff like that, when they do stupid crap like, and this isn't a dig at BMWs, but, you know, BMWs, this car's got the B58 in it, right? Mm-hmm. There's a cool engine, and then the intake is all muffled and all this kind of crap from the factory.
Muffler on the intake.
So you don't get to hear the turbo and stuff. Like, that's stupid.
I guess just catering to a crowd.
It is.
Because it's the 540i. It's the grandpa car of the bunch, besides the 7.
Yeah. But I really appreciate the Senna. I don't think it's the prettiest car out there by any means.
You think it's a pretty car, though?
I don't think it's a pretty car. I think it's a good-looking
Really?
car. Yeah, I don't. I've never have. Even when I saw it in person, I told Ashley, I'm like, you know what? It's really not that pretty.
Wow, dude.
It's very cool. And I would never look at it and say, I'll never, ever call it ugly. Yeah. I'll never say, oh, that's an ugly car.
Yeah, I mean, if you did that.
It's an amazing all around. It's just there's prettier cars out there to me.
Oh man, I don't think I agree actually.
That's fine. And you don't have to. And you know, that's the difference. Like talking
of course.
Talking about the twin RX-7s, you want this full on. You want to turn your RX-7 into a Senna, basically. And
right.
I just want mine to be the P1.
When I buy my 720S at some point, I really want the I forget what brand makes it, but I think it's Liberty Walk. But they basically make like a Senna conversion for it. I'd love to do that.
I can't imagine it's cheap.
No, it's not. But a 720S isn't either. Dude, I sent you
Stay
that
tuned.
video.
We're drilling into the fenders of a 720S.
I will not be doing it. I sent you a video of a Senna on TikTok.
We just get Devin hammered on Coors Banquet and walk around with one shoe on and do it.
And it was, dude, I literally watched it like 6 times in a row, and I was like, wow. And it was in the Gulf livery, the orange and teal.
Such a great color.
Beautiful, dude. I think it is absolutely the best looking car on the planet. I really think that's what I think. But it's a toss-up between the Jesko and the Senna of which one I would own if I had to pick one. Because you talk about the Jesko, and it's the highest performing car basically in the world besides the Rimac Nevera in a couple places. But it beat the Rimac Nevera in a couple of its own.
It also looks way better.
Agreed.
God,
I don't think that the Jesko is a looker.
I think it's gorgeous.
That's crazy because, dude, I think the headlights are a little gross.
Still not my favorite car. It's not the prettiest car out there to me.
Yeah, the wing on that thing is gorgeous. The way that it connects to the rear windshield.
You know, I'm sitting here trying to think now. What do I think is the prettiest car out there right now?
Think about that and tell me, because I really, in my opinion, I think it's the Senna. Honestly, the R34 GTR is up there, actually.
Gorgeous car.
I don't want to be that guy, but golly, that car is gorgeous, and I really couldn't tell you why. And my wife hates them.
So does mine.
But she saw one at Slam, and she was like, I get it. And
does she, though?
That was a Millennium Jade, too, which is a color I dislike. Sorry.
It's fine. It's a cool color. It just,
I really don't like it.
It's never a color that I would choose.
Definitely not. And Kayla doesn't like it either. But we saw a M-Spec Nur edition, supposedly. I don't know. I don't know if it was real or not. But it won best, I can't remember the category.
What is the
early model GTR? Nothing comes to mind?
Wow, there's so many that come to mind is the problem.
Can you give me a top 3-ish?
Oh, God, you ain't helping. Prettiest car.
And you can go classic, I guess. But
hell, you.
Lame.
No, it's not, because you went to an R34.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Got me there.
Yep.
I mean,
it's over 20 years old. It's an antique.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Because the 72 Skyline GTR is a gorgeous car to me. Not the prettiest car to me, but it is very pretty.
Which generation did you say?
The 1972.
Which is?
Like, the first.
Okay. Yeah, they're good looking.
Kind
of look like an old Golf to me. Sorry.
Well, I don't see how, because they're not hatches at all.
No, but it's like a old Volkswagen. Maybe it's not a Golf. I can't remember what it's called.
It's literally a coupe.
We don't have the poster up anymore.
Which one?
Generations.
It's been down for a while.
Yeah, sorry. It looks like some kind of car, and I can't remember what it was.
God, what is the prettiest car to me?
I think E36 M3 is up there. Or sorry, no, not E36.
The one before it? The E36?
No, E36.
See, I don't think the E36 is the prettiest of the M3s.
Hold on. Maybe I'm wrong about E36 then.
Because it was E36, then the E46, E92s, but...
Okay, E36. Gorgeous M3.
It's good looking car.
Not the one I'm thinking of.
You thinking of the E30?
Probably. That's not an E30. That's a G30 there, buddy. Yeah, E30 is gorgeous.
Yes, they are. Very, very, very pretty.
Not the prettiest car in the world, though.
It's not.
I think an R34 is prettier than that.
What? You know, I keep thinking of Aston Martins.
They're up there for sure.
Because I think Steven's car, the blue one, is one of the prettiest cars, period.
Yeah. There are some Aston Martins that I don't think are lookers. Honestly, the Valkyrie.
That's a bad car, though.
Yes.
So that right there is kind of like me with the Senna.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think the Valkyrie is that pretty.
No, I don't think the Viper's that pretty.
The Vulcan, on the other hand,
yeah,
is awesome.
Yeah,
and it looks good. Which one would I rather have? The Valkyrie.
Right.
But you know,
and there are a couple Aston Martins.
I may not say what my prettiest car. I might not be able to on this podcast.
I need a couple though. Like, where's your head at?
I keep thinking of Aston Martins, honestly.
You think that like, not Steven's car specifically, but that type of car is over a P1 or something?
Yeah, because even the P1 is not the most beautiful car to me.
No, I agree.
It's my favorite car, but
I would never. Well, and I always go like at the end of the day, which one would I take? And that's not really fair either. Because like I said, even though Corvettes are gorgeous,
you know what might throw you for a loop? One of the cars that I'm thinking of right now is the newest Ford GT.
Those are beautiful, yeah.
You know, I don't care for Ford, but I do very much.
Can't knock a GT though.
Nope. I very much like that car. Kind of fell in love with it when Jeremy Clarkson did the race with that thing, where he raced Hammond in May, in New York City. He puts it into race mode by mistake, and it lowers and the wing pops up.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Anyway,
I always go to Pagani's and Koenigsegg's and McLaren's.
Pagani has the best interiors to me. Period.
The outsides seem a little stuck in time to me. Not knocking them at all, but when you come to like the prettiest cars in the world, I think Pagani just falls behind slightly.
Aston Martin DB11s are very, very pretty.
Let me make sure that's the one I like, because there is an Aston Martin I don't like, and it's the front grille and
the Lagonda.
The freaking Lagonda, dude. So yeah, this DB11 is really pretty. However, the generation before it, I'm not a fan. It's the other one that Steven has that I don't like the front end of.
I like those.
I just think they're.
I think they kind of got ruined when the guy from Aston Martin left, and this isn't a joke. He left and went to Ford.
Really? And
he started, because pull up the pictures of like is it the Ford Fusion? You can see Aston Martin on the front of that.
Right.
And I think that kind of watered them down.
Yeah.
And then Aston Martin upped it with, Steven's blue car. That thing. That's one of the coolest cars I've ever driven.
Steven's car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because of the sounds, the feel.
They're not even really fast.
It's a little over 500 horsepower. No.
By any means.
But it's just elegant.
Mm-hmm. They're just classy.
They are.
At the end of the day, that's the word.
Aston Martin's hard to beat.
Yeah. Aston Martins are gorgeous. Pagani's are up there. I think that Koenigsegg lacks on the look side a little bit sometimes. Their performance is just kind of unbeatable.
Yeah, they're hard to beat.
But you talk about
Koenigsegg's kind of on the forefront too of technology. Some of the stuff they make.
The automatic to manual thing that they just created.
I love the fact that Christian von Koenigsegg is so involved with it too.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so neat.
Where did he come from? Because he was at another brand and he went to do his own brand, right?
I'm not sure.
I forget, but he has a cool story, I believe.
Have you ever seen a Gunther Works 911?
No. Is it a Porsche?
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the way Porsches look.
They're very pretty. The Gunther Works are. They're up there. If I had FU money, I would have a Gunther Works.
Well, let me look it up.
Pretty sure Joe Rogan has one.
So they're classy then.
They're just awesome. They're very expensive.
Definitely gonna post a picture of this one because not a fan.
That's okay. That's okay. Lambo doors.
Whoa. No, man. I think. Prettiest car in the world is obviously impossible to truly have a full opinion. We talk about like Bugattis, like the Bolide. Gorgeous.
The what?
The Bugatti Bolide.
What is that?
You know what a Bolide is?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I know what bleeding is. I've done that.
Bolide.
I
think there's only like 12 in the world.
Hey, Bolide, get over here. It sounds like a country dude's name. Bolide.
This thing. Has the X headlights.
Oh yeah. That thing, yeah.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I like that.
I'll throw a picture up for that.
Is it pronounced bolide or they call
I'm
it
probably
bolide or bolide or
I'm probably wrong.
Puerto Nuevo? I don't know what it.
Bugatti's probably pronounced wrong.
Those are cool. Those are very, very cool. The headlights are killer.
Yeah. I wonder if they're like actually functional like on the street or not.
I don't know. It looks like a villain coming after you with headlights like that.
The bolide, there's I guess it could be the Chiron that I like.
I like that one, yeah.
Chiron's gorgeous. The Veyrons are ugly as frick. I wouldn't pay $10 for one.
I think you would.
Their Bugattis are very wish-washy with their looks because a lot of them are ugly and a lot of them are gorgeous.
I'm really surprised you don't care for the Gunther works. Have you ever seen? Look up Singer Porsches. See what you think about that.
Singer
is a lot more tame and more just Porsche looking. But they do some older ones. So, like, imagine taking Riley's car and taking it to Singer and having him fix that for you. And I can't believe his car hasn't sold yet.
Yeah, I think contrary to popular opinion, although air-cooled Porsches are awesome, I think they're just a lot for what you like too little for what you're paying for.
Well, there's so many diehard Porsche guys out there that I figured he would sell that car in no time because it's
and it should
such great shape.
Yeah, yeah.
Jack should just buy it.
I wish he would, dude.
Right?
I wish he would, and I think he was considering it. I just need to reach out back to him.
I messaged him the other day. I was like, you need to come back for another car experience.
Definitely, and he wants to, man. He's just a busy guy.
He ain't got no career going on, does he?
We'll get him in a W1 here soon.
Oh my God. He'll pull up in a Senna and it like have shopping cart marks on the side of it and stuff. And it'll be Millennium Jade.
Oh, good Lord. I don't think I'd like the Senna anymore if it was a Millennium.
Yeah, you would.
No, man. I mean, prettiest car in the world is impossible. I think you can probably come down to like a prettiest brand, or maybe that's harder. Is that harder?
I don't know. Because again, first person I thought of was Aston Martin, man.
I'd go with McLaren, no doubt. I don't think there's ever been a ugly McLaren.
The GT. I just don't.
Ugly though?
I think it's ugly.
Wow, man.
Like
I'm not there with you on that one
bad.
for sure. I don't like it. I would not take it over a 570.
There's not a car in that price range. Oh God, no. I would never consider it. It would never be a consideration.
Yeah. But if it was like a base C8 versus that, would you take it?
To sell it.
You can't sell it.
Then I'd probably take the C8 just to have
crazy.
Something that looks good.
Yeah. I think other than the MP412C, which are fine, they're just not pretty. And I don't love the F1. I think there's not like an ugly car in the McLaren lineup.
No. The Mercedes-Benz McLaren SLR was kind of ugly.
I don't think it was ugly.
It was huge. God, the hood was like old El Dorado or something.
It's just not ugly, though. Like,
I always thought they were kind of ugly.
Really, man?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
That local douche around here that's got like the SF90 or whatever it is right now that everybody freaks out over until they find out who owns it.
Really pretty car.
It is. It's a shame a douche drives it, but
of course.
You know, he had that thing one time and yeah.
Oh, that looks so good.
I don't think it did.
The SF90?
No, the SF90. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Geez,
I was talking about the
like,
McLaren SLR.
Lord.
It was a cool car, but
Ferrari's up there.
Ferrari makes a lot of nice stuff.
But they definitely have some ugly ones.
But would I ever buy one? Probably not.
I don't like their brand, man.
I hate the brand. Richard Hammond said it one time that they've basically turned into a machine for selling keychains and T-shirts.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you kind of have.
Yep.
They don't, until they release this F80, which I'm not a huge fan of. The front end looks terrible.
No, I'm not a fan. Which sucks, man.
It does.
Because, I mean, you talk about the Holy Trinities, and the original Holy Trinity, I don't know if I'd take the F1 over the Porsche at that time. No, the Porsche wasn't in it, was it?
I think the only one I've ever known to be referred to as the Holy Trinity was the P1, the 918, and the LaFerrari.
Well, there's like the classic one.
Yeah.
Which was McLaren F1. There was a Ferrari in there. There was I think it was a Mercedes in there.
Was it the SLR?
Could have been.
Yeah. Or a Porsche RSR?
I can't remember what it was. And then you obviously have like the Holy Trinity, which is the P1 LaFerrari and 918.
That was awesome to watch.
I would take the LaFerrari over the 918 any day, and I would take the P1 over any of them any day.
P1 918 LaFerrari, in my opinion.
918's ugly.
It's not great, but it performs better.
Just Porsche gets away with so much.
Performed better than the P1, actually. Damn it.
I literally couldn't even care less. I hate that car. It's so ugly, dude.
You got a sour taste in your mouth for Porsche.
Dude, I love the GT3 RSs. I love the GT2 RSs. GT4 RSs are really pretty.
Dude, the Spider, we saw several of those at the Dragon. Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're gorgeous. And their colors.
So I didn't realize. I thought when they made it into a Spider, they lost a little intake, but they didn't.
Oh, really?
I would have to have I'd have to go with the convertible.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's for sure. It's a hardtop?
Hardtop convertible? No, they're a ragtop. Still take it. Just, can you imagine cruising with that top down, listening to that motor with those intakes right behind? Oh, my gosh.
This is what I'm talking about, though. Porsche gets away with way too much.
Porsche gets away with way too much, speaking about their colors. That whole PTS crap, charge you $15,000, $20,000 because you like the liner of your suede jacket and you want your car to be that color.
I agree.
That's
but
dumb.
When you talk about a base C8 convertible is a hardtop. And even their non-convertibles have a hardtop Targa.
Yeah.
Really? And you have these $200,000 GT4 RS that's a soft top?
I would say it's a soft top for weight savings and things because of how hardcore they go on. Now, think about it. They do away with the emblem on the car and replace it with a sticker.
But, like, why is that okay?
I'm not saying it is.
5 ounces.
I know, I get it.
And that's what I'm saying. They get away with too much because it's like, oh, it's a form of our function. Brother, it's 5 ounces that you're losing.
Porsche.
Because now you have a sticker instead of an actual emblem. And you're charging me for it.
I would say yeah, they do. I would say 70% of the Porsche people I know are kind of a cult.
Oh, I completely agree.
Like, several of them are fine.
And I'm not one to, like, hate a brand for the people because it's not the brand's fault.
Well, that kind of, some of them turned my wife against it.
And I get it. And it's...
Some of them are great. Don't
absolutely.
Get me wrong. Shout out to Daniel.
Shout out to Josh.
Who?
Josh? Josh. Yeah, Josh, I think.
I don't know.
That's fine.
Josh. Kid, do we know a Josh? She didn't remember.
I don't know. It's weird.
Huh. Like a yellow flash just went through my head. I can't think of who it is.
But I like Porsches a lot. I just think, like, they're overpriced for what they are. I think they hold their value too well for what they are. I think they're stuck in time. I think, oh, we have an analog clock because we're classy. No, you just don't want to put the money in to make a nice clock like Bentley did.
They're Swiss made, though. That's kind of neat. I'm a watch guy.
Well, there you go. There's another thing they got away with just because they made it Swiss.
Oh yeah, Aston Martin does.
But Rolex made the gears.
That'd be kind of cool.
Cool.
Then you
still didn't put
$15,000 for your clock that you'll never pay attention to because everybody has a cell phone or a watch.
Right. And I just think they get away with too much. I think they've upped their interior game a little bit. However, I think their exterior game, they've literally looked the same the whole entire time. It's because it's timeless.
There's never going to be a Porsche that I buy that's not a GT3 or some sort of RS.
Right. I would take a GT4, GT3, GT2 RS.
Like I like 911s, love Rileys. I like the cars. There's just other things I'd rather have, obviously, because we don't have a Porsche. But
right.
I was watching Gears and Gasoline, and this dude was driving a WRX, not an STI, and they were at VIR, and all they did to that thing was light duty track pads.
Root beer.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you bring that out?
What do you mean?
Did you bring it out with you?
Yeah, it was in my house.
Oh, okay. I was just thinking about it. Sorry, I thought it was just sitting there from like the last time or something. Like, damn, this dude is. Anyway, you just threw me for a loop.
Sorry, man.
But they were on VIR, and this dude was driving the WRX, had light duty track pads, had Fortune Auto, like some 2-way coilover, like expensive coilovers, right? The dude in the GT3 he was chasing could not get away from him in the corners.
Yeah.
Like, eventually the GT3 had to get out of his way. Obviously, that could be something with the driver.
Definitely.
Because I don't know anybody that can outdrive Daniel. But at the same time, like, I don't know, man. Like, it's
when
just
you hear all these people like, oh, I was in a Miata and I was passing Porsches and Ferraris.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. You know why that is, though. Like, if you put freaking, I was going to say Jeff Probst. Oh, my gosh. What's his name?
There is Jeff Probst.
Yeah, but what's the driver?
Jeff Probst.
Oh, really?
The driver, yeah.
Who's the host of Survivor?
Shit if I know, man.
Isn't that Jeff Probst?
I don't know. I don't watch Survivor.
You don't watch Survivor?
No.
I don't watch it anymore.
Or Love Island.
Oh, my gosh. Two different things.
He watches Love Island.
Get out of here, Matt. Survivor host is Jeff Probst.
Wow.
That's definitely not the driver.
It can't be the same. I mean, there's other people out there with the same name. Believe it or not. I share the
Randy
same name.
Popes is the driver.
Okay.
Okay. I thought I was going crazy.
Well.
If you put Randy Popst in the Golf and in the Ferrari, he's obviously going to freaking beat the Golf. So your friend who is passing Ferraris with his whatever the frick he has, that's $2,000, probably a driver thing. Know your place.
Like when, what's his name, said he passed the GT2 RS in his GT500.
Yeah, probably not the GT500's fault. Probably
the GT2
thing.
RS that just couldn't handle it.
Yeah, right.
And that's the king of cars.
Right, and it's a track day. Anybody can go. I can go. And
Oh,
if you're passing me, you might not have a cooler car than me. I might just suck at driving because I suck at driving. Anyway, yeah, I think Porsche just gets away with too much because they just keep calling it like timeless and stuff like that. Stop using that as an excuse. Modernize, because we know that modernizing is the future. The 918, I don't like it. Like, there's not a part of me that likes it except for the sound. And if I'm talking sound, let's just go with the Carrera.
Or an LFA.
Or, yeah, anything else. That's not a Porsche.
I would take the LFA over any Porsche. Except the GT2 RS.
I would take a GT2 RS over an LFA for sure. I would probably take a 992 GT2 RS over an LFA.
The GT2 RS is a pinnacle car for me.
The 2RS?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of the looks of that?
I think it's a beautiful car.
I think it is too. I think the GT2 RS looks better. The 992. You don't think so?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Mm-mm.
I really hope that they're making a 992 GT2 RS. I really, really hope.
Signs are starting to point that they are.
See, I was thinking it was going the opposite way because I know we've talked about this a little bit. But I thought that they made like a Manthe Racing GT2 RS, and that's what that was all about, or something like that. Bless you.
I don't.
But I don't know. I hope they make a GT2 RS for sure in the 992. If they don't, they get away with everything.
They're going to need something to try and compete with that ZR1.
They're going to need something that's going to compete with the W1 and the new Ferrari.
Yeah, they don't.
They've got to
It
make
ain't going to be an RS car. It's
No.
going to have to be a 918 successor.
But they definitely need to make a
I hope they
successor. Is that in talks at all? Have we heard about that?
I don't pay enough attention to Porsche. Sorry, guys.
That's fair. Yeah, I just think Porsche gets away with too much, and their base cars are way overpriced. Because I was looking at like the AMG GTR Pros, and next to it was like a 911 Targa 4S. Really? You would touch a 911 4S over a AMG GTR Pro? No shot anyone will buy that if they had half a brain.
Porsche guys would, without thinking.
Yeah, that's so stupid. Like, I have brand loyalty to McLaren, and I'm a little blind.
Brand loyalty and a cult are different things, though.
Right. And like I said, Senna P1, I think the Senna is the prettiest car ever made. Am I wrong about that? Maybe, but that's subjective.
It is subjective. Doesn't matter as long as it's, when you're talking about the beauty of a car, it only matters to you.
Right. And I don't think there's a single Porsche in my top 50. Mic drop.
No, mine is the one that drops.
Performance anxiety.
Yep.
You got a Porsche in your top 50, you think?
GT2 RS.
Anything else?
I don't know.
Just tell me your top 50.
Okay, here we go. No, I have no idea. God, it would take forever to make an actual top 50. There would be a lot of cars on there that you don't like.
Probably.
Yeah, that's fine.
My number one is one that you don't like. So
No.
you said it was ugly.
No, I said it wasn't ugly. I just didn't say.
Right.
It wasn't
Sorry.
pretty.
Right.
Yeah, I would never say it's an ugly.
You don't think
car.
it's good looking. You don't think it's bad looking.
Right. I think it's a tool.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not like a tool. Like, oh man, you're a tool. But it's
like a Ryobi.
It's a weapon. Let's just say that
Yeah.
it's a weapon.
Yep. And weapons don't have to look pretty. Yeah, Ryobi or
No, I would say more like Sig Sauer or H&K or something like that. It's a weapon.
Porter cable or
yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't know, man. I like Porsches. Their Nürburgring times speak for themselves. King of the track maybe, but AMG 1 beat him, and the ZR1
probably will.
Probably, dude. And
so I had this thought about the ZR1, and the more I thought about it, the less I wanted to say it. So I'm gonna say what I was thinking, but I'm not gonna stand behind it because I don't feel it. If that makes sense. So my first thought was, okay, so the ZR1 is gonna be what the GTR was when it came out.
Okay.
Because when the GTR came out, it was hands down by far the best bang for the buck. It was a supercar killer. It was beating everybody. You can't argue that. No one can.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the ZR1 is going to be that way, except for the fact that it's going to be really expensive.
Right.
But it's going to punch way above its weight class.
100%. I mean, it already is.
It already does because it's the fastest car under $1 million in top speed.
Right.
And I'm sorry, but that car, America is putting the world on notice.
Mm-hmm. And I hope that this is like a, hey, Porsche, you better start doing something because you guys have been very stagnant in the last couple of years.
Well, you see, like Chevy's doing this, and they're not even being like, hey, Dodge, look out. They're like, hey, guys, you want to build a fast car? And they're like, cool, let's do it. And they don't talk crap to no other brands about it. Yeah. They don't put on this giant show by bringing in their car with a helicopter, which was cool, but
they know it speaks for themselves.
They don't care. They're just
no. And they shouldn't because it is speaking for itself. And the GTD's kind of doing the same thing. I'm worried about the Nürburgring time. I hope that them dragging out the time is a competitor thing and not a we're doing worse than we thought we were. If it's sub 7 minute.
If it's sub 7 minute, they have nothing to be ashamed of.
Agreed.
It can be 6:59, and that's
completely agreed. There's
awesome.
Like 15 cars in the world that's ever gone.
I don't think there's a domestic car that's done it.
No, definitely not. No. Well, the Viper.
ACR.
Yeah.
Did it go?
It was like 647. Yeah.
Well,
the Viper is the only car that's like that Dodge has to be like, oh, we did this a few years ago.
Which I feel about the Vipers like you do about all of Porsche.
Yeah. I think they're awesome.
Meh.
And I think it's cool. Like, they definitely deserve the Widowmaker name. And
do they?
I think so.
The first one did.
Well, just like everything is trying to kill you in the car.
The first one.
Yeah. Well, and
then they started adding all the safety features because we all want those. No, like.
I would definitely never have one because of that, because of the safety features and stuff like that.
That and they were just a shit car, too.
What's a Dodge? Well.
Dodge has a long way to go before I'll sit here and say, quit saying, oh, it's just a Dodge. They got a long way to go. They'll never be there, I don't think. Because even with their flagship cars, the Viper, I guess that's their flagship car, they still have ridiculous panel gaps and all this kind of crap. And, Mustang, as much as I hate to say it, seem to be better about it. I still think their interiors are garbage. I've never liked their interior.
That was actually one of my biggest problems with the GT500, actually, was like you got in my Highlander and you felt like royalty compared to the GT500. And if you're buying a $100,000 sports car, I better not have a freaking shift knob. That pissed me off.
Like that's what it had?
It's like a little radio knob to put you in a drive.
Really?
On like the most raw, like flagship Mustang that you could buy, and you can't rip it into gear. You hit the little manual button, and it puts you in a paddle shifters. But there's no shifting up with the knob or anything.
Wow.
So frustrating.
Huh.
And besides like
I
a couple
retract
carbon
my
fiber
statement.
bits. What?
About them coming a long way.
Yeah. I mean, they are, and the new ones are pretty nice.
I guess the Dark Horse's interior is kind of cool.
Yeah. But the GT500's interior is
blah.
pretty much identical to the GTs and the V6s.
Interiors are very, very important because that's where you spend your time in the car.
Yep.
You want it to have something that is engaging, but not too much, obviously. But,
And the one thing I liked about the GT500 was that the screen refresh rate was so high that it could track every number that you were going up. So if you were accelerating really fast, it'd show you 61, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And the Corvette just jumps, which I think is stupid. It's like 50, 54, 56, 80. And it was like...
Do you know the LFA had an analog rev counter when it first came out, but it was too slow?
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They had to fit it with a digital one because it couldn't keep up with that motor.
That's crazy.
It's amazing.
That is pretty incredible. I think the LFA was one of those things that was ahead of its time. And it is extremely underpowered. 510
horsepower for when it came out. It's not really underpowered for then.
Yeah, but for like $3 million?
It wasn't $3 million then.
It was expensive though, right?
Mm-hmm.
How much, do you know?
It was under $500,000.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Yep. They just made so few.
Better then, but they couldn't sell them. Nobody wanted them.
They sold a lot of them, but they didn't market it well, and it was overpriced. To be a Lexus.
Right.
But I know I bring these guys up a lot, but when Jeremy Clarkson says it's the best car he's ever driven, that's got to count for something because he's driven everything.
Right.
And he said that on more than one occasion after driving them. And, that episode, I don't know if you've ever seen that episode of Top Gear where he drives that and Hammond's in the Viper. And then, oh, man, James May shows up in the Aston Martin in that blue color. It's beautiful. It's a great episode. It's funny. But
yeah, I mean, I would like an LFA.
It would
obviously
be
for the price now.
It would be in my collection if I had that kind of money.
Right. It's one of those things that you buy if you already have your dream car.
Yep. Yeah, I would have to have like a massive collection and just basically unlimited money. And I would want a Nürburgring edition because there's even less of those.
Yeah, of course.
There was actually one of those in Kingsport, which is wild.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The guy that owned the Lexus dealership, it was his. It was white.
Dang.
I've got pictures of it somewhere. It was beautiful.
What a G.
Right?
LC500 is up there with some of the prettiest cars ever made.
LC500 is a pretty car, which is saying a lot because coming from the SC430 Lexus, that is one of the ugliest cars ever made. And then the LC500 is beautiful.
They're big.
Are they though? They're not really that big. Like
they're a little large.
I don't feel like they are.
Well, there was one.
Do you think your 5 Series is large?
No, my M8 was large.
Your M8, well, see, I didn't really feel like it was that big either. It's just heavy.
Right, but you talk about the back end of LC500, it's bigger than the M8s because it doesn't really go down. It just kind of,
it's just wide, I guess.
Yeah.
The RCF is a great looking car too. It just doesn't perform for shit.
Yeah, and they all sound great. Lexuses are great with sound.
Jeremy Clarkson drove that. And he said, I'm not even going to give this car to the Stig. I don't want to waste your time. He hated it.
They're just super underpowered, man. And I think that's Lexus's issue. And that's why I didn't buy an LC500 because my 5 would gap that thing.
Shannon's got one of the prettiest cars around here.
100%.
Period.
I took a lot of inspiration from my build from Shannon's.
Don't give him that kind of credit. He doesn't watch us.
Oh, him and Tanner both had their front lips destroyed at Slammed.
Yeah, I talked to Shannon about that a couple days ago.
That sucks, man.
Yep.
They talk about the GAT curse.
Yep.
And if you don't know what the GAT curse is, it's kind of like this idea that whenever you go to Gatlinburg, everybody's things break.
It's like a Madden curse.
Yeah. And I was literally talking to Kaylee about, like, there's no GAT curse. It's the fact that all these people have stance cars, and obviously you're going to break your stuff because whenever you hit a speed bump, everything breaks. You can hear it. It was awful. The whole weekend.
Watched their bumpers pull off.
Yeah.
Yep. I remember standing there watching them go into the parking garage, and they were just ripping them off.
Yep. But they don't have super low cars.
Some of them do.
I mean Tanner and Shannon.
Oh, no. They got air ride.
Yeah, exactly. And something flew off a truck on the way on the highway and slammed them.
That sucks, man. Those guys
really
have such
sucks.
clean rides.
Yeah, they do.
Shannon's is, if it's not the best car, the prettiest car around here, it's up there.
Yep. And he didn't grow up with cars or anything. Like
he got into it because of Tanner.
Yep.
Which I think is awesome.
That's super cool, yeah.
Both of those guys are awesome dudes, man.
Absolutely.
A lot of fun to hang out with. Shannon is great.
Yep.
I've spent more time with him than I have Tanner, but every time I've ever been around Tanner, he's been awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good parenting, I guess.
I guess so. Another thing, we got to wrap this up soon. I got to spend the whole weekend with the JD Customs guys. Those guys are awesome.
Never heard of them.
Really?
Mm-mm.
They're just a really tiny company. They're just trying to get out there right now.
What do they do?
Just customs. JD's
64 Impalas.
Nah,
great guys.
Super awesome guys. It was a great weekend. They were very welcoming.
John and Camden, man, those are great dudes.
Yeah, all of them were awesome. Had a really great weekend with them, and they make some crazy, awesome custom stuff. They were doing like on-site engraving for people. My dog now has a JD Customs name tag on it, which is awesome. Super extra and so pointless, but it was cheaper than the PetSmart ones.
Hey, man, titanium's going out of style. So stupid.
Yeah, carbon fiber is too.
Yeah, right?
Okay. But yeah, so that was awesome. They don't sponsor the podcast right now, but go check them out, man. If they don't have it on the website, they can make it.
HalfTorqued will save you 10%.
True. Use code HalfTorqued.
That's right.
We have talked about, which I'll tell you this off camera because I don't want to say what we're going to do, but there is a part that I wanted to make for the Super for a long time, and I think he's going to make it for me. And if it works out, it'll be super cool. And there's lots of stuff I want to make, but titanium is expensive.
Maybe we can talk about that when we get him on a podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
Whether he comes here or we go there.
Yep. So keep looking forward to that.
Several people want to be on the podcast right now.
We got some heavy hitters that I think that you guys will really love, who have some pretty incredible stories.
Felix will be fun.
Some pretty awesome backgrounds. So look forward to that.
It's going to be interesting to see because I don't like G-Wagons. I don't know you do.
I do like G-Wagons, yeah.
And it's a Brabus or Brabus, whatever.
However you pronounce it. I love them, though.
Yeah, so that's coming to Felix's shop, so we're going to go there.
Yep.
And then we'll get Felix on here.
Yep. And then we got Victor from Black Powder.
100% got to get Victor on here. Then we're going to go see Tom.
That would be cool, yeah. I'd love to do like a car collection.
If you're down to meet him this time.
Oh, my gosh. Get out of here. He has, like, all of my dream cars.
Yeah.
I don't even know what he does. I don't want to know.
I know what he does.
But anyway, definitely got to wrap this up. I think we're probably like an hour and 30.
We're getting there.
But
I got to poop.
I don't. Which is surprising. I always have to poop.
Yeah.
That's kind of my thing.
Everybody poops.
Everybody poops. Everybody defecates.
Yeah.
You know me? I just be pooping.
I don't know, man.
Office reference.
Yeah. Big world. A lot of smells.
Jeez. Just choked on my spit. So anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry we've been gone. There's just so much going on. Weddings, events, car shows.
I went to the Tail of the Dragon with the GTR guys.
How many miles did you put in your car that weekend?
About 1,200. Yep. And we had a blast.
That's called driving your car, ladies and gentlemen.
That's what it's for.
Yep, it is.
You know, that's me and the guys that run that I don't even know what you call it. That group, I guess. Battalion 35 Carolinas. We all believe in driving our cars. Yep. That's what we do.
I'd like to think if we ever got a Senna and P1 that we would drive them hard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I really want to believe that I would. But, man, once you got $3 million in a car.
When I got my car, when I first got it, right, I still have my Evo. And I always said when I got a GTR, I was going to drive the wheels off of it, and I have.
Mm-hmm.
But at first, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to let it sit. I don't want to put miles on it. I'll keep driving the Evo. And every time I get in the Evo, I was like, man, I missed the GTR.
You're like, why am I not driving my better car?
There was a couple of times I literally turned around and went back and got it. And even now, it's hard to not drive it because I still absolutely love it, especially after being at the Dragon. That's why I'm dying to go again. But I don't know. I can't. It's hard to not drive it. So if I had something like a P1, there's no way I wouldn't be able to drive it.
Yeah.
The only thing that would hold me back is can I afford the maintenance on something like that?
Right. That's my only holdback with McLaren is their unreliability, unfortunately. But
I think they're getting better.
I hope so.
But that's one thing you need to keep in mind. I think we've talked about it before. Just because you can buy the car don't mean you can afford the car.
Yep.
Because maintenance is a real thing, and it is expensive.
Yep.
But
you don't want to buy a $2,000 335i, and then your maintenance be 6 times the cost of the initial buy-in.
Don't cheap on brakes and things like that.
Yep. And oil. Don't go with, like, O'Reilly's brand oil.
I can't imagine anybody that would ever do that in their wide body, big turbo Supra ever.
That was really specific, Matthew.
Yeah. Was it?
Yeah, I felt like it.
Oh. It wasn't directed at anyone.
That's good. I'm glad. We don't call people out here.
Nope. Do we still have that oil here by chance?
Probably. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Let us know
and then he
like
used my oil.
Let us know what you'd like to see next. I don't know if we'll have a video up or not at this point. But
we don't have any content right now, but we have things that we need to do. So
yep,
we'll get something going.
But the podcast will stay steady, I believe.
Yeah, we had a break, but
because there's more stuff I want to talk about right now, but we're just gotta wrap it up.
I gotta poop.
You gotta poop. You know me? I just be pooping. Alrighty, guys. Thank you guys for joining.
I don't know what that was. Bye. Love you.
Peace.